So I used to be an illustrator, and I was always given these kind of goofy projects to make pictures about. And I was approached by this medical institution, this big company, and they had this idea that they were, launching into the new decade, and they had all this technology, and so the whole idea was that they were taking off, right? And so I came up with all these ideas, and I had one idea of these nurses or medical people like on a rocket going through space, right? And that was crazy, but so I did this picture, and then they called me, and we had a big meeting and about it when I sent it, and they're like nurses on a rocket ship, and they were concerned because I didn't have stethoscopes on them, and some of the outfits weren't accurate, like medical, like the white lab coats are not exactly the same kind. And it was such a crazy thing because I was always art directed like this. And I remember thinking, and I think I said this in the meeting, it's like, you guys, do you realize that these nurses are in outer space and on a rocket ship? Like, this doesn't actually happen. They're like riding this like, it's like a giant jet into the atmosphere. I'm like, you're willing to, like, that's a complete fake reality, but you're concerned about the stethoscope. And I was saying, I would bring it back. And I learned this, it's like, you guys, it's not about those details. We just have to stay focused on the feeling you were after. What's the feeling you're after? The feeling you're after is like, we're going to the moon. We're this thing's taken off. And anyway, this is Nicholas Wilton in Art to Life. And today I'm talking about art direction, specifically commissions. How to do them. How do you survive with this kind of feedback, especially around something you're making? It's one thing for me as an illustrator, you're kind of like a hired wrist, and whatever. At the end of the day, they're paying the bill, and they would, I'd add stethoscopes, right? But painting's different, or art making's different when it's really personal. So I thought I'd share with you my secret, sort of some of the secret things that I've learned, and I say secret because they don't seem to be shared. This is really helpful. This can do it. If you struggle with commissions, feeling like that patron is like in the room with you and it never turns out, this is what happened to me, it never turned out as good as what they liked originally. These things can just help. It's all about how you process and think about art direction. Hopefully you have no art direction, but here they are in and I'll save the big one, the secret one, for the very end. So there's 5 things I want to share with you right now. The first thing, this is what I say every single time when someone commissions me to do something. I have to say it, and it frees you up. I say, listen, I just want you to know I'm not sending you anything that I don't love. The challenge for me is to get it to where I love it. And this is true. If I love this, just like my other work, you're going to probably love it too. So we're not doing something for someone else. First, serve yourself. And so I put that bar, I set that expectation. It's like, you're not going to get anything ever unless I love it. That makes them feel really confident. It puts you back in the driver's seat of this project, right? The second idea, and you can take this or leave it, do 2. Do 2. If you love it, dive into it. Do 2 versions. You're going to be much freer. It seems crazy, but almost every time I've done this, sometimes they choose the one that I want, and sometimes they choose the other one. But if you love both, now you've got a spare, and you can sell that later. And I always do. So that's something I like to do. I don't always, but if I can, do 2, have a spare. The third idea, and it relates to that story I told you, bring them back around to the feeling, right? It wasn't that, we need to put stethoscopes on people. We were trying to communicate a feeling. Ask them, when they look at your work, what do they love about it? What do they feel? What's the feeling that they get from your work? And make that the thing that you're after. Because there's a million ways to communicate a feeling. Like with the stethoscopes, it's not about that. That's not what the objective was. The objective was this feeling. get their sense of the feeling. That gives you a lot of creative freedom. You're not hemmed in. Everything I'm sharing with you is to stop you feeling hemmed in by someone outside of you, an externality, which makes the work tight. That's why the commissions don't work. The fourth point is, this is the rule. You don't do replicas. I mean, maybe if you want, you can just do a duplication and maybe, to make money or whatever. But I have found when I try to duplicate something for someone, do that, but make it smaller. Then they're looking at that thing going, wait, this is check, make sure the stethoscopes are on this one and they're not on that one. Be mindful of that. I set that expectation right up front. I don't do replicas. That's not what we're doing here. Art's not, you don't replicate art. It comes from you and it's about emotion. It's about that feeling. Now, this is what the secret, and I call it a secret because I don't share it with them. And it's kind of like in my back pocket, like my secret weapon that gives me a lot of freedom. And this is it. I say to myself, and sometimes I'll say it to them at the end, but I say, for you to get this, you have to love it as much as me. If you have to love this. If it's not okay, I'm not interested in someone having something that's kind of like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, whatever. It's just in I thought it would be better. You have to love it as much as me. If you don't, I don't want you to have this. I can put it, I want my pictures to end up with people who love them. And maybe, and I never say this up front, maybe this isn't going to work out. That's fine. I'm going to end up with an amazing painting that I love and didn't connect for you. But having that kind of confidence, that's the only scenario we're going to have. You've got to love this because I want you to just savor this painting and have it in your life and, pass it down from generation to generation. Setting these kind of really high bars makes people feel really safe and comfortable. And that's really the goal of what we're trying to do here. That's the level. But everything's set up. All those questions, all those points allow you to be freer, right? It's actually, commissions are no different than doing what you love in the privacy of your own studio. That's what they want anyway. And that's what will make your best work when you're being you. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. Leave a comment. There's lots of tips on how to do these commissions. This is up for people. For some reason in COVID, there's just a lot of commissioning going on. So I've been getting a lot of questions on how to do this. But I know there's more. I know there's more ideas that people have. So please leave a comment below and share those. For those of you who are new here, we have an amazing Arts Life Artists Facebook group. You're welcome to join in and just be involved. It's a really great group of artists. So again, thanks for being here and I hope your Sunday's awesome. Okay. Hey everyone, if you found this helpful, I have a whole lot more to teach, share, and inspire you with every single week. So please join the Art to Life YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Okay, great. Let's do this.